Have you ever struggled with not knowing what her text really means when she sent it to you? Well, I'm Selna Kim, America's face of dating, and today we're going to decipher what her texts really mean, plus real examples, and then also how to respond to those texts. And so, right now we have three texts that we're going to go through that you commonly get, and commonly when you hear this topic, you think of the stereotypical K or it's fine, right? When a girl says it's fine, commonly it's known that it means it's not fine, right? And that's like a really simple one. I guess we have a bonus, right? We have a number 4, which we just talked about. But so the first one we're going to start with here is the stereotypical K text. When a girl sends you K, they're like, what does that mean? You know, like I asked her out and she said K. What does that mean? It's on? Like, what does that mean? And that's when they usually come to me. And I actually had a guy that we're going to use examples from here where he poured his heart out to a girl in a message, in like a very long message, and then she asked a question, and then they went back and forth, and then he was trying to just like get her to confess her feelings back for him, but she just wasn't interested like that, and so she tried to friend zone him, and then she just said K and just ended the text, and he's like I'll always feel like I'll always feel like this for you, like he's trying to like do that typical Hollywood stuff. I'll always feel like this for you. And then she was like, K. So she straight up just disrespected him and said K and walked away. Later down the road, probably about like a month later, he found my work. He started messaging me. We actually started working together. He hopped in my program. And I told him really here what he needs to do is he needs to be playful and challenging. He needs to go back to actually flirting with her and being playful with her and really causing those feelings to come out that makes a girl feel desire for you. Okay? And you can actually see that here. So when she said K, a really good response to K would be something like, we're doing the K text now? Like, we're really on that level? Or like, oh, I know you didn't just K me, right? Like, you're trying to take it back to a playful vibe. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Usually if the K text comes out, it means that the conversation's completely died off. But sometimes you can spark it back up with like a really playful text, like I just exampled for you. So she comes back to him about 10 days after we started working together. And he's like, hey man, like she came back to me like, what do I do? What do I say here? And she said, what do you mean about what you sent me? And I told him to send back, or no, she said, what did you mean about what you sent me? Like, did you mean everything you said? Like she's very curious about this text, right? Like you can read the curiosity in her expression here. Like, did you mean everything you said? And he was like, well, that depends. I told him to send, well, that depends. And she was like, on what? If we're going out Saturday at 8 or Thursday at 9? And basically he's going like right for the close here. It's because curiosity equals attraction. So this girl sent him that text right there that said, like, did you mean everything you sent me? Because she's been thinking about him. I told him, I was like, don't contact her unless she contacts you. And when she contacts you, go back and make it fun, make her laugh, make her feel those feelings of desire a little bit, build that attraction, and then you seal the deal, right? You don't go into that serious talk like you're not on that level yet. It's almost like, I love Corey Wayne. He used this example. He said that it's almost like when you're baking a cake in the oven. A lot of guys are just like, is it done yet? They keep opening the door on the oven. They're just like, is it done? Is it done now? And it deflates the cake, right? So when you keep trying to like seal the deal before she's ready, before her feelings have developed, before the cake is developed, as you may, then it deflates the sexual tension. You want her to come to you and chase you and come to you with all that stuff. And so that's how you handle the K text, which is a very, very strong way of doing that. The second text here that I wanted to talk about is the shut up text, right? And I love this text because you could say something very flirty. You can see in this example here that this guy pulled out an example where he just flirted with her. He said some very simple bantering line, like he teased her. You could tease a girl. You could make fun of her a little bit. You could banter with her. And then she was like, shut up, LOL. Shut up, LOL. And what this text means, it means that she is extremely attracted to you, number one. And number two, she is saying that as a test to see how you respond to her and see what you say back to her. Okay, and if you're just like, she told me to shut up, like if you get all upset and like emotional about that, which guys actually do that I coach, and it really just pushes her away and chases her away. Okay, and what you want to say instead when a girl tells you to shut up, or when she playfully tries to test you or tease you, you need to perceive this as number one, oh, she is very attracted to me, first off. And number two, I need to respond with something that is going to raise that attraction because this is a test. okay? And what commonly I say is, why don't you come over here and make me? And she'll be like, oh, I can't come over. She'll make some excuse, like, I can't come over now because I'm busy with this and that. And I'd be like, yeah, like, yeah, I'd say that if I was scared too, you know? And like, you pull away. Such a good fucking line right there. It just works every single time. It makes her emotionally react. It's perfect. The last text that I wanted to talk about here, the third and final text, I guess the fourth, because we had a bonus in the beginning, is the okay or the mm-hmm or the all right text, right? So the context of this text is that a lot of times you'll see a guy where he's a player, maybe he talks to he talks to like a good amount of girls, right? And he's out and about, and he's talking to these girls at the club, and he's with another girl, and the girl is then like a little bit jealous of that. She's a little bit envious because he's, you know, he talks to other girls, right? Like, you know, it doesn't mean he's flirting with them. It just means that he's talking to them like at the club or like at school or whatever, and the girl, she gets a little jealous about that, right? For me personally, I fucking love a girl that gets a little bit jealous, you know, like that likes to fight for what she likes to perceive as hers, you know, like I like a girl that gets a little bit jealous, like you see in this example here. So the guy was talking about, like, he was talking about these other girls that he was talking to at school, and she's like, okay, okay, cool, you know what I'm saying? So it's like she's obviously a little bit jealous about that. And that's when you want to pull out the text. Like, if you are in that context where she's getting a little bit jealous, and so she's pulling out the like, yeah, okay. Like, she's a little bit jealous, right? She's a little bit envious. You want to pull out this text right here where you're just like, are you getting a little jealous right now? You just like playfully tease her with a little smirk, a little wink on the text. Or if you're talking to her, you could also say something along the lines of, God, I think it's so sexy when you get a little bit jealous. And she'll be like, I'm not jealous. I'm like, oh, really? What is it then? Because you just went from full emojis to very bored and bland. And it has to be because of that reason alone. So tell me what's on your mind, babe. And she'll be like, well, this and that. Like, I don't like you were flirting with those girls, blah, blah, blah. Like, she starts going to that. She starts pouring out to you, and you open her up. And so on that note, I hope that those texts and those examples have really helped you understand the female language. If you need help, like the guy that I described earlier, then DM me on Instagram the word help, and I'll send you the link. Also, you can read my book here. It's called Waking the Core of Man. It will really change your perspective on dating with real examples from when I was a club promoter. Just amazing book. One of my favorite reviews that someone said is that it's like verbal judo. Amazing review right there. And so on that note, let me know what questions you have down in the comments. I'm Selna Kim, America's face of dating. I will see you next time.